Today is July.
Today is July 27th, and the Yankees have traded for Jazz Chisholm Jr.,
Oh,
which is more than a trade deadline trade. It's like future of the team trade. So we're going to talk all about it. Music, 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 music,
Music,
music,
music,
music,
music.
music,
Let's
talk
music,
go,
Yanks.
music.
Let's
Yankees.
talk Yanks.
Let's go,
Yankees, Yankees,
Yankees.
Yankees. I'm here.
Facts.
Jake is here. Joe's McFly is joining us because he's kind of a
Yo,
reaction guy. He reacts to things, but Joe's isn't allowed to talk till
yes.
5 minutes in. BBD is here.
What?
Jake woke up from a cute little nap to the news. I got done at the swimming pool with my kids, then saw the news. It was awesome. I'm excited, and I'm a little, it's not pure excitement, I guess, because there's a little confusion and like, wait, let me think this through. So that's what we'll do for you guys this podcast. Jake.
James, Joseph, BBD coming live from outside of Fenway. Joe's just got off of 8 hours of train rides. And yeah, I was taking a steamy nap, bro. I mean, it was hot. Jess did not like waking me up. But you were texting her there's been a trade. So I'm up and I'm like, who is it? Jazz Chisholm's a New York Yankee. Okay. Immediate reaction. All right, let's go. We
More.
probably need more help, and this is a start. Jazz Chisholm for his career, his numbers have been a little over league average as a hitter. On the Marlins, and it's something we've been saying on Talking Baseball with trade rumors coming. Make sure you guys are checking out Talking Baseball, and you're using SeatGeek code Yanks15 to go see these new look Yankees. Thank you, SeatGeek. Dude, I don't know. I guess literally this is instant reaction that Jazz Chisholm has played mostly second base and center field. We need help anywhere right now, but we know the outfield's been crowded. That I don't know. I have to believe Jazz Chisholm's going to play a chunk of second base, which Gleyber Torres has only played second base, and Gleyber Torres has been hitting a little bit recently. So we're going to see the Yankees actually do funky lineups and try like a Gleyber or Jazz at third. Hopefully there's another move coming that's gonna make
Curry.
it more sense in the lineup. Jack Curry tweeted that there's another move coming, and when Jack Curry tweets, Joe's listens. So
Always.
I don't know. I'm hyped. We're bringing in a talented guy, and the other thing that's important Yankee wise, money wise, he's still cheap.
Yes. Still cheap. Also his swing is kind of like made for Yankee Stadium. Another lefty. So then that's good. Jake mentioned about how many more homers he would have. I think he said something about 24 more homers this season. If he would have been in, I don't know, some number like that. Jake could probably clarify.
That sounds like a fake number for anyone that's listening to the show.
It was.
And you've never listened to Talking Yanks before. Joe's is a local liar.
Not a liar.
You're a fibber.
If you tell the truth right away, it's not a lie.
I agree. I agree with you. Jake, my reaction was this year's a little confusing, and there might be a next trade coming.
Jack Curry has tweeted something about that. Yankees have had, after his last tweet said Yankees working hard on another trade, Yankees have had numerous conversations with the Rays, who have already dealt Eflin and Arozarena. Diaz, Paredes, and Fairbanks could be trade targets.
How about all three?
Say that again. Who? Paredes?
Paredes, Diaz, Paredes, Fairbanks could be targets.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that's within 5 minutes of his last tweet. That was Yanks working hard on finishing another trade.
Well, the Orioles kickstarted him yesterday. The Orioles kickstarted him. But for me, this makes a lot of sense. I got James. He's very upset. He wants to play baseball.
He's too upset. Baby James, we got Jazz Pop.
When you opened the show and you said my name and you called me his name, he thought he was getting yelled at, scared the hell out of him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, big guy. You look
That's
handsome.
Jake. You say hi to Jake? You watch us play mini golf a lot. Okay. Anyway, this is and Jake, me and you were saying this on the train today. I was like, well, Jazz plays outfield and infield, and he's real cheap. Like he's like 700 grand for this year. And then he's
Wow.
going to be around 5 million tops next year. And then you have him 2026 where he's going to be you're maybe 7. Like, and if they want to be in on Soto, they need cheap options to fill in the gaps.
Very true.
And Jazz Chisholm can fill in the infield and the outfield. So he kind of made too much sense. That's what you and I were looking at a bunch of stuff on the train. I just said he just makes a lot of sense. Like for what they're looking for the next year and the next year. Because then he comes off the books by the time they reset the tax.
Yep.
For that year, if they bring in Soto. So that's where it makes sense. This year, it's super interesting. And I wonder if Glaber's on the move, if they think that Jazz, because like Jazz could be replacing Verdugo, Jazz could be replacing Glaber. That's
They
why
could have him play third.
I don't think they'd have Jazz play third. I think they'd put him at second because he's going to be the second baseman next year and move Glaber to third or try it out. If anything, or they're flipping Glaber, or like moving Glaber, but it's versatility that they haven't had, besides IKF last year, which is different. It's actual speed. I read a stat. He's only grounded into like 11 double plays in his career.
That's good.
The flip side here is Jazz is not an all-star. He's like an average to slightly above average MLB player.
And
but he
fine.
does.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't want people hearing us get excited.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And anyone like listening be like, oh, this dude's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but he does bring elements to the lineup that we don't have right now in speed and versatility and being like a really good rangy outfielder and second baseman. So it's a big move though, because it's 3 years.
He's very talented. He's a speed power player. And the stat that Joe's danced around was I think he has 13 home runs this season. If he played at Yankee Stadium, he would have 19. So sometimes those stats get a little funky because it's like not he would play every game, but he is a lefty pull guy with power and speed. So, hey man,
I got a comp.
Okay,
I got a little bit of a comp.
David Justice.
Can he play like I'm not saying maybe he's not going to hit this way, but can he play like a Didi kind of role? Somebody that had that extreme pull that can be able to play that role. You didn't really expect to come in and be able to do what Didi did as an example. But could he do that for the Yanks? I think so.
I think it cuts into two pieces. It's going to be unfair because this isn't how baseball works. Yeah. Jazz Chisholm's going to have 2 months of baseball that are going to decide if he's loved or hated, which is really tough for players because Jazz Chisholm could have an 800 OPS for a month. Jazz Chisholm could probably have a 600 OPS for a month. But we need MLB guys, and this guy, I guess, pure trade-wise, does this guy have talent and potential to unlock a little bit more? Would seem like it. He's 26, and man, I know lineup stuff like analytics doesn't believe in. Man, if Jazz Chisholm, I know our Yankees don't feel like a lineup right now, but go look what's gone on the Miami Marlins teams while he's been there, and he hasn't had a lot of help. Like I think, Garrett Cooper one year, maybe his best like life support he had. They traded for Rise for a little bit. But yeah, as a lefty, and dude, I do think we need to say like the whole Jazz Chisholm thing. He was on the cover of MLB The Show. I think there was some stuff in baseball like, does he deserve that? There's a lot that goes into that. Between agents and how much they're going to pay and stuff like that. So that's whatever. And then he does have a couple oddball quotes out there that you just wonder. There was the quote that he said he never practiced with the team in one of the interviews that I know we got hung up on that one once or twice. That you hope that's just a bizarre, young, weird thing.
Well, the full context was he didn't like the culture, which wasn't like a Marlins culture. It was just normal baseball stuff. Like, they make the rookies sing songs in the middle of the bus. Like,
right.
When we hung out with Dallas Braden on that Easton trip, he made us do that because he was like, this is baseball culture. Get up and sing. And we took it as, oh, this is cool. Dallas is like initiating us into baseball culture. Jazz Chisholm and a lot of other players that feel the same way as Jazz. Like, fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so he really didn't like that culture. And then the podcast, he's like, I never saw my teammates for 2 years. The guy interviewing him was like, what? So it's real weird. It's just weird.
It is. And but I think he's coming into like a clubhouse where there's people here that clearly run it, you know, and they're very tight knit already. So it's going to be kind of hard coming in as like an outside guy and like trying to shake things up because it's not an organization that you're used to being in. You know, it's like going like Jim, you moved a lot, so it's kind of like you just moved and you're going to a new school and you got to make friends and do all these things, and nobody wants to go in there and, you know, just high step in or doing whatever. You kind of want to keep your head low, you know.
You're just gonna bring up all of Jimmy's like life anxiety for his first like 16
No, he
years?
said he liked it. He liked moving in the middle of the year because he made more friends. I can't hear Jim.
You're muted. I think it's that baby.
Yeah, if you got any kids and you're moving and switching schools, do it in the middle of the year. Because they make an announcement and they say, oh, we got a new kid in school today. And then everybody in school wants to meet the new kid. If you're the new kid on the first day, everyone's so excited to see their friends they haven't seen all summer that the new kid gets left by the wayside for like 2 weeks. So that's what me and my sisters told my parents when
we got a new kid in class. He's got pretty blue eyes. He likes
if it's like elementary school, that's real good advice. If it's elementary school or middle school, move your kids in the middle of the school year. Everyone thinks the opposite. I'll let them end and start new. No, it's terrible. It's way worse. It's 2 weeks of loneliness that way.
The full trade's been tweeted out.
Yeah. So on the prospect side, it's no one that you really, you know, there's people that love prospects and they know the name Agustin Ramirez. I knew the name, but he never even got to my level of like, I'm excited about him. I also don't really get excited about prospects that much. But he's the headliner. He's a catcher. He's 22 years old. He's on the 40-man roster, so they clear him. And then Cerna looks like a one-name player named Cerna.
Jared Cerna.
Cerna, 22 years old, ranked 19th in the org. That's not that high. I hope he pans out, but that's not much. And then Hardman is the third.
Not Hardman, been corrected on a new tweet that came out. Abraham Ramirez, who I had not heard of.
Okay.
The others I've heard of.
It's Agustin. It's Agustin.
That's basically the trade, yeah.
This is a dream trade for the Yankees. When the Marlins traded earlier this year, they traded Luis Arraez. They got a grab bag of prospects, and every GM operates differently. That I think they got 4 prospects for a year and a half of Luis Arraez. That the Marlins, they have realized it's not happening soon. That they're going hodgepodgey. I think they like Cerna too. I did a mock trade episode with Foolish Bailey on Wake and Jake, and he threw in Jared Cerna in a potential trade because, as his words, he said he has helium as a prospect. He's got the rise, like things are starting to click for him the past 2 years. But and the most polite way ever, and people I think understand this from me, Jared Cerna listed 5'7", 168. So for him to crack it as a Yankees prospect at that size,
I'm the shortest here. Okay,
I've been short. Joe's.
Well, I got a question for you real quick, right?
Height or otherwise?
Are you staying on the
I am higher
prospects?
than both of you, all 4 of you. I am taller.
Are you staying on the prospects? Because I have a point.
No, actually, I'll wait. We'll talk about the prospects. Prospects are suspects, man. Like, you just don't know what you're gonna get. I know that he hit over 20 homers, and there's a bunch of people out there saying overpay, which you don't know, bro. You just don't know. Stop. You don't know. You'll only know when he gets up here and actually does it. I mean,
it's pretty easy to part ways with a catcher on the 40-man when Rortvet's about to come right back.
Woo!
Right.
Let's start making another one.
I like that, Jeff.
I mean, guys, I haven't heard anything that you haven't heard. I have no scoop. But if Rortvedt got Cole the back half of his Cy Young and Trevino's out for a while, and and Jack Curry's tweeting about we're interested in 3 to 4 Rays guys. Well, I think Cole goes knocking on that door.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Go get me my caddy. I need the Magic Man." So I'd just be a little surprised if that conversation's not even happening.
Yes. Great point, Jim. That's a great point.
Thank you, Joes.
Love that. By the way, it's not hard for Jazz Chisholm to stand out in this lineup as he kind of slots in as one of the best hitters already.
Jack Curry insinuating the Yankees would probably bat him leadoff.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
there's been talk on Twitter about where he'd bat.
Ben Rice.
Until proven otherwise.
Ben Rice is lead. Like, they don't have a leadoff guy.
Yeah.
We don't have a leadoff hitter. We don't have a cleanup hitter. That feels like there's a motivational speech in there. If Boone acted how we wish he did as like a high school football coach, we don't have a leadoff hitter. We don't have a cleanup hitter. We just got guys, and we got some more swag now.
We do.
Which, I mean, part of me wants to daydream to the Tampa trade or whatever's next, but I think the one combo before then, and Jim, you mentioned this kind of in passing, but Glaber or Verdugo's probably off this team, right?
Ooh, that was my question.
As an everyday player,
okay.
The only other way it would happen is if they want Glaber to play third base, which he was supposed to do in 2017. Mm-hmm. He didn't have like the physical capabilities weren't really what ailed him at short.
The
timing of it's kind of tough to do this, but that's how Verdugo and Glaber would stay if Jazz goes to second.
Right.
He could rotate and Verdugo and Glaber become a platoon. And Jazz, and when we're facing a righty pitcher, Jazz is playing second base and Verdugo's playing left field, and we're facing a lefty pitcher. Jazz stays the starter.
Mm-hmm.
What are his? He's not that much better. Glaber's a better hitter than this guy. So
Red Sox made a trade.
Red Sox made a trade.
Yeah, they got Danny Jansen.
These are all great questions that I'm sure that the reporters will ask Boone for tonight's game, but we will also ask Boone Monday at our event where we are having a live show, and Jake has all the details for you.
August 5th. So not this Monday, next Monday, T-Squared Social, 5:30 p.m. shop.johnboymedia.com. There's probably a link in here. We did one live Boone event earlier this year. It was a blast. And it's like, hey, it's New York Yankees stuff. Like it's not going to, if the Yanks don't start winning and this is the only trade, there'll be some real talks in there. Hopefully we're talking about where Jazz is in the lineup, where Yandy Diaz is about to bat. But also T-Squared Social is a sick location. So that's Monday, August 5th. Come through. We got tickies. Where do we go next? I know, BBD's up against the shot clock a little bit. He's in Fenway.
I think that they're trading someone off this 40-man roster.
Okay.
Off
the MLB roster, you mean?
Yeah, I mean off the MLB roster. Like Nestor might be leaving. Like that's a possibility. Ooh. If the Rays think they can fix Nestor, I mean, he's there. He's a Ray. Or if they want the arms, like
I guess that's just weird for me because the Rays normally get rid of guys when they start getting paid, and they have a chunk of pitchers coming back that I don't know. I could see. I mean,
Nestor could be the Monty though.
Glaber or Verdugo as a half a season. The Rays think they could get someone for cheap and have a good second half. That's not crazy. But the names that are being mentioned, I'm a little skeptical of I'm a little skeptical of Isaac Paredes. Just because that would be a nuclear move, man. He is a all-star, back-to-back third baseman, years of control. Like, 24. You'd have to be giving a haul. Yandy Diaz is 32, 33 now. He had kind of a mess start. He's been picking it up. First base, third base. He won the batting title last year. You know, if they traded for Yandy Diaz in this upcoming Rays trade, which I think would make a little more sense, team control next year, you're also checking more boxes that like he's next year's first baseman. Like you can lock that up.
Okay.
That is, we are looking into the Juan Soto possible extension. Like I think that would be another move in getting ahead of that and closing off the roster.
With
I'm a big vibes guy too, man. Just having Jazz there, it does bring some good vibes. I think bringing in some people with some personality is important too. You know, like back in 2017, when we got Todd Frazier, like he brought some personality to the team.
Kane Lee.
Kane Lee did as well. Like you need some of that.
Fairbanks got personality.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
Remember that post game? One of my favorite post games.
Pringle Fairbanks, bro. Are we gonna get him an ad deal,
dude? Well, it would be the opposite of Pringles, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like a face your fears campaign.
Yeah, Pringling was anti, but maybe now it's like this is what we want to happen. Beebs, I sent you a bunch of videos at one point. I know you don't have your soundboard. I shared them with you, but like this Fairbanks. You probably won't be able to hear it.
Generally suck. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck.
That's one of my favorite post-game press conferences. Yanks can't be. Yeah, he doesn't say that if he's a Yankee. He's like, actually, I thought I threw the ball well.
I had good stuff.
Yeah. Isak Paredes is very interesting, Jake, because one, the Rays never try to hurt you really, unless besides that trade with the Padres, they usually go for some kids that you don't think are great. So you're like, actually, this is way less than we thought we were going to give up because they can like go sneak into your farm system and find better guys. Also, Isak Paredes has kind of a Tim Anderson level savant page where like nothing says this is going to last and is going to be good. So if there's value there, or the Yanks are scared for adding for 3 years because of that, Joe's and I were looking at that together on the train on the way up. Like it's like all anti what the stats say.
Yeah, I think Isak, he's got some of that. I think some of those things get neutralized if you're as heavy pull as he is. Like that was the Rays' secret sauce to unlocking him, is just turn on it. Yeah, hey, if it is, and I guess that's the other thing to track in the next couple moves, which I want to hear what you guys like need to see / want to see next. But dude, Jazz is 26. Like, depending how these next couple trades could move, like the Yankees could get a lot younger. And like, you know, that was one of my Soto things. Like, if you make this guy a Yankee for life, like you just created a new young core that I don't know. Obviously we care about this year and things have gotten so bad that we need changes. But also we could be looking at like a replanned 3-year window if it's Jazz or Isak, Yandy. I don't know. Interested.
Well, Martino's in on the Rays trade situation. Just saying there's scouts there. And so everyone that, you know, Cash talks to a lot, Curry, Martino, are hinting. So even if it's just Rortvedt and Fairbanks, that's still Fairbanks he's the closer. Like if you trade for Fairbanks, and you know what? He's probably not, because the Yankees are stubborn as all get out, but he should be.
Well, I think what would drive you, I think what would drive you nuts is Fairbanks. If I remember correctly, Fairbanks is like a very pure four-seam fastball guy, and Clay is obviously heavy sinker. That the Yankees think they have the sauce on four-seam versus sinkers versus guys swings.
I don't like that.
Would.
I don't. We're gonna fix you from the rain.
Okay. All right. Well, Beebs has to go, and James wants me to go play with him. But we're gonna close the episode by James singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Go. Take me out to the ball game. It's all he sings, but now he's shy.
That you sang that.
No, it's all he sings right now. A video. Take me out to the crowd.
Wait, James, let's hit him with your signature line.
Did
Hello.
you say that? Or say hello. Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Well, hey, more trades coming, so we might be back in like 30 minutes.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye, guys. Subscribe.